Welcome to part 3, getting the textures actually on your models. So, first off, you're going to hop back into Maya, locate your object, and you should have all of those texture files in your source images folder. Once you've done that, there's two ways to go about this. I'm going to show the complicated way, and then I'm going to show the easy way. The complicated way is to just go to your object and plug them in from there. I'm just going to use the material I already had, but this is a standard surface. If you're putting your objects into Unity through your Maya file, this needs to be changed, because for some reason Unity doesn't like reading Maya materials. So you want to change this to an OpenPBR surface, or one of the basic ones like a Blinn or a Lambert. So we're going to do OpenPBR. That's what all of our files are saved for. And we're going to start plugging those files in one by one. So we're going to start with color. And normally it looks like this. And so we're going to click on this texture thing, say, hey, we want this to be a file. And then you're going to go and look for our image name. It should automatically pull up source images here. And we're going to click on our base color. And then you can see if we have our lighting on and our texture on up top here, you should already see your base color, which is great. And then we are going to continue to plug stuff in where needed. So we have a roughness map. So we're going to come in and find our roughness. And you can see, some of these are blank, so there's no need to plug those ones in, but the rest of these do have different information on them. Go back, we're just going to click this go to output. That puts us back to our material. So we also have our metalness here. So we're going to add a file to our metalness, come in, find our metallic, and open that. That'll add it to our feet. Go back to our output. We have a height map. Right, we have our normal map and our height map. You don't always need both of these, but I'm going to show you how to plug both of them in. What you need to do is you need to come down to geometry. And in our bump mapping, we're going to come in and we're going to select our normal map. And that'll apply it there. But you'll notice it's not super showing up. Sometimes you need to switch these from RBG to raw. In fact, for a lot of them, it's helpful. Now that our normal's in, is we're actually going to go to that output and make sure this is set to tangent space normals. That'll apply our normal maps and make sure everything looks correct. For any black and white textures, you'll want to come through and make sure alpha is luminance. Once again, switching a lot of these to raw so that they come in properly. And all of that looks pretty good. We can turn off our wireframe. Everything's reflecting properly. We can check it in our render view. Here you can see the lovely chest we've made and play around with the lighting in there. And here you can see the different textures loaded and stuff. So that's how you get it working in Maya. And if you have everything in the proper place, these textures should show up when shared on GitHub, as long as you've put the textures in the proper place. So that's how you manually plug them in. The easy way to plug them in is to use the Substance add-on. If you don't have this Substance tab, that means you need to enable the plugin. So you're going to come over to Windows, Settings and Preferences, and your plugin manager, and we're going to look up Substance. And you'll go ahead and load in all of these. Refresh it, and you should have this tab. You're then going to come over here and say, apply workflow to maps. We want this. We'll go ahead and make it a standard surface for now. And we can change that later, and then select multiple maps. And then we're just going to select our maps all right here. Click select. It auto puts those in. And click apply. And then we're going to go to our output here, and we'll name this our drawer. And this is also where we can then change it to our OpenPBR. And it should keep all of those connections still in place. You'll have to rename it again. I like to name it whatever object mat so it's easy to keep track of. Select our drawer, assign existing material. Don't mind all of these. Or do mind all of these because our list is too long. So we're actually going to select this, come over to rendering, lighting and shading, assign existing materials, and it should drawer mat up top here. And now that's assigned, and you can see it looks the same except for our knobs now also have that texture. So we're going to go ahead, right click these again, and give these their knob material back. And it works the same and looks the same. We'll go ahead and check it in our Arnold render view. And you can see our material loaded in just fine with much less steps and digging and working through that. And then once you have all of your materials working in Maya, then if you have the proper material shaders, again, I like to use that OpenPBR surface, then it should be pretty easy to load in Unity. So we'll go ahead, open that up and show you. Okay, once we have our Unity project open, we can go ahead, come over to our Maya folder, open up our scenes, and we should find our Maya scene in there. Go ahead, drag that in, like so. And we're going to go ahead, come to this, and click on the actual Maya scene, and in our inspector, we want to come over to materials, and we should just be able to extract materials, and we want that to go into, we want those materials in our materials folder. So make sure you select that, select folder, and it should auto make all of those materials. There we go. And manually set that color in there. I'm not entirely sure why it's not automatically doing that. So that's how you get your objects and your materials in Unity using the Maya scenes. But I also have some helpful tutorials on how to just get the objects in both Unity and Unreal. So I'll go ahead and link those down below as well. So thanks for watching, everyone.